Do you feel awkward using LinkedIn, or maybe you're worried that you're going to come across as salesy on the platform? This is you. You want to watch this episode because I'm going to take you through how to comment and message people on LinkedIn without feeling like a weirdo. Because I know that this is a huge worry or concern people have with how to actually engage on the platform. So we're going to be diving through that. But before I get into it, if you're not already, please go and send me a connection request or a follow on LinkedIn. Let me know you've been watching this YouTube channel. I would love to hear from you and get some feedback on how you're finding it. How can we engage on LinkedIn without feeling super awkward and uncomfortable? There is a bit of a perception on LinkedIn, particularly with messaging, that when people receive messages, they feel like they're just getting sold to all the time. And is this the case? Absolutely, sometimes. Like, not everybody is on the platform to hardcore sell and pitch. So I want to make sure that if you're a business owner or somebody wanting to generate leads from the platform, you're going about it in a really nice way that isn't feeling uncomfortable. There's so many different things that you can do, and I'm going to share some tips and advice on how you can go about that. So the first thing that you can do, the first thing I want to actually talk about is, before we even get to the messaging, is I want to talk about commenting, because I think that's a really great way to warm up your audience first before you dive straight into the inbox. Now, with commenting, what I will say is, hopefully if you're watching this video, it means that you have watched my previous video on how to set up your LinkedIn profile and optimize it. Please, 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 if you're going to be active on the platform, get your profile sorted first. The reason is because if you start to comment or message people on LinkedIn, there is a good chance that they're going to go and have a cheeky little look at your profile. And if it's not well set up, you're just losing out on an opportunity, and you might not actually look very credible or trustworthy. So please make sure you get that set up first, then we can start commenting. What I would recommend is, a lot of LinkedIn gurus tell you that you need to go and comment on hundreds of posts a day. Please don't do that. Nobody has got time for that. What I would recommend is go and find some of your favorite creators, find industry experts that you really resonate with, and go to their profile and turn their notification bell on their profile. Now, what that will do is, every time that they post, you will be alerted. So you've actually got something to go and comment on. Some of the feedback that I get from people when they first start out on LinkedIn is they tell me that their feed is really boring and there's actually not a lot on there to comment on. And there is truth to that, and that is okay. But what you actually need to do is you need to train LinkedIn's algorithm to start sending you more of the good stuff. So you need to make sure that you go and find the good stuff and you be proactive about that. Whenever I'm on LinkedIn, I have an amazing time because my feed is full of incredible thought leaders, people that are really funny. So I quite enjoy it. And when you enjoy it and you love what's coming up in your feed, you're more likely to be consistent with it. And while you're here and you've added me on LinkedIn, you may as well click the notification bell on my profile so you get alerted when all my amazing content comes out, and you can go and comment on that, and then you'll start to see me pop up more frequently. Okay, so with the comments, what I don't want you to do, and what a lot of people do, is one or two things. One, they use AI to comment just garbage. It's just regurgitated garbage, and you can see it from a mile away, where they use these tools to essentially scrape what was written on the post, and then they regurgitate it and they just put out a really generic comment. Please don't do that. I find it very brand damaging as well, because what that tells me is you're so lazy that you can't be bothered to spend 5 minutes actually commenting something meaningful on someone's content. The other thing that I see people do, which I believe is a huge mistake on LinkedIn, is they comment "good job" on 20 posts every day. It's adding no value. So please make sure that if you are going to be commenting, you're adding value. That's the most important thing. And the value can come from you sharing a story. It could come from you sharing wisdom or knowledge, or maybe it's even through entertainment. Maybe you comment something funny. When you can add meaningful comments to people's LinkedIn posts, what it does is it really connects with them, and it's a way to build relationships before you even think about reaching out and sending them a message. So I encourage you to take some time each day. I would recommend spending anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes a day jumping on there and commenting on posts. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, Katisha, 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day, that's a long time. But I can bet that you are doom scrolling across multiple social media platforms every day, wasting, if not half an hour, a couple of hours a day. It's about being really intentional about how you spend time on social media and how you show up. Do you just want to sit by and be passive, or do you want to actually be proactive and build a brand that generates you revenue? So you got 15 minutes. Spend 15 minutes, comment on content, and get your name out there, build the relationships. Once you spend a little bit of time doing this, the next step from there is to actually start conversations with people. Now, I am a big believer in giving yourself the warmest reason to reach out cold. What I mean by that is, particularly if in early days of building a business and building a network, you may not necessarily personally know a lot of people, which means that when you go to reach out to somebody on LinkedIn, it's going to be quote unquote cold. They're not going to know who you are. And that's perfectly fine. I have literally messaged thousands of people that I don't know and have gotten responses back from people. And the reason I've gotten responses back from people is a few things. The first one is they know who I am by the time I reach out to them, because I consistently post content. So that's really important, because they're seeing my face pop up on the feed. So by the time I slide into their inbox, they know who I am. The other one is I look credible. So my profile is really well optimized. And if you are thinking that your profile is not looking real flash hot at the moment, please check out the link in my description. I have free training on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile to help you generate more leads and clients for your business. Go and do that. Optimize your profile before you start messaging, because that's going to really impact your response rate. So that could be a big reason as to why you might be finding you're not getting a reply from people. Once you've done those things, you're posting the content, you've got your profile optimized, and you're starting to now reach out to people cold, there are a few different ways you can go about this. My, personal favorites or go-to is I will go and have a look at who is viewing my LinkedIn profile. That's a really nice, easy way to slide into somebody's inbox. Hey Bob, saw you were checking out my profile. How are things at such and such company? Or maybe you've seen some of their content and you want to message them and say, hey, saw that post you did yesterday, thought it was brilliant. How have things been? When it comes to, I could fill a whole new episode on this, but when it comes to messaging people on LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you keep it nice and short and easy. If you're sending paragraphs to people, nobody's going to read that. Well, nobody busy who has authority and is in a position of power is going to go through and read your message, okay? So it's really important that you keep it short and sweet, you keep it relevant, and you're breaking the mold. And what I mean by that is be understanding the fact that the people you're messaging are probably getting peppered by lots of other people, right? Their inbox is full. So I want you to think about how can you stand out when you go and reach out to these people, because that's going to help you in getting a higher response rate. I check profile views. I might message somebody after I've seen a really good piece of content from them. Another thing that you should be doing is if you are posting content, you should send people messages thanking them for engaging in your content. That's also another really beautiful way to open up the conversation with it feeling nice and light. There are so many other ways, and I actually email my mailing list regularly, different things that I am trying that is getting response rates. So if you haven't already, click the link in my description and register to my mailing list, because I will give you specific ideas and things that you can run away with and use to help you open up conversations and feel less icky and awkward about it. Those are the main ways that I reach out to people. Another thing that you can do, which is really valuable, is to ask somebody if it would be okay if you sent them something of value. So for instance, I might see that somebody's LinkedIn profile needs a little bit of love, and I might shoot them a message and say, hey Ben, super awesome to be in your world. I noticed your profile was looking a little bit bare. Would it be okay with you if I sent you this free profile guide to help you set it up, to help you with your personal branding goals? And then once they've confirmed, they're like, yes, shoot it through, I'll flick them through the guide. That's another really beautiful way to open up a conversation where you're providing value, but you aren't pitching. And that's something that I want to address, because this is very common on LinkedIn for people to connect and then 3 seconds later they do the pitch slap. Please, please, please don't do that. Take them out to dinner first. Metaphorically. Okay, so make sure that you're providing value. You are actually having a conversation with somebody, figuring out if you can even help them in the first place, and then send them a quote unquote pitch. And you just want to do it in a really nice way. We don't want to be connecting and pitch slapping. For myself, I might converse with somebody and they drop in the message or the conversation that they're thinking about growing their personal brand. And something that I might potentially do is send them the link to my 90-day Dare to Be Known program. If you are interested in that, that is in the description below as well. And in that program, I coach founders, sales professionals, people that want to quit their 9-to-5, and I coach them through the process of how to grow their brand on LinkedIn and how to monetize it. So once having a conversation with them, I might send them that link if I feel like they need that support, or I may potentially book in a call if I feel like they're going to need some private support. So those are just a few things, or a few different ways that you can be starting conversations with people. What I want you to do before you end up sliding into somebody's inbox is I want you to take your sales hat off and I want you to put your curiosity hat on. And this is a big mindset shift, because a lot of the time people feel very awkward to even send that first message because they don't want to have that perception of they're coming across as a icky, sleazy salesperson. And the way I personally remove those fears, and the way that my clients remove those fears, is one, by not putting their selling hat on. They're literally just going into the inbox to learn more about that person. And two, just being your authentic self. A lot of the time people overthink the messages. At the end of the day, we're all just humans. So it's really important that you just interact like you would as if you were seeing that person face to face. Now, what I'm going to be taking you through in the next episode, which I'm super excited about, is the benefits of having LinkedIn Premium or LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So if you are interested in whether or not you should be investing in those memberships, stay tuned for the next episode, because I'm going to dive deep into the features and benefits of those two so you can figure out if it's worth your time or not.